Hey everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and we are working on Ephemera Queen. And pardon me, we are on, my goodness, sorry about that. I got a catch in my throat right when I sat down. We are working on, let me double check. I believe we're on page 1. So let's get started. So we're going to have, I have to think about the orientation. Yeah. Yes, this is it. Okay, so we're going to start with a flap on the left-hand side, and it is 4 by 8. 4 by 8. You're going to score a 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side. That's not right. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but I walked in my craft room and I got a catch. Sorry about that. Okay, back on track. So I want to apologize to you guys. A couple of projects ago, it was extremely hot here in San Diego, and I just couldn't function without air. And it's unfortunately the air conditioner sits right outside my craft room window, and it's very loud. And I think that some of the videos that I produced and actually released are so hard to listen to. But I do want to remind you that you can turn the volume down or mute the video, because I do run the banners across the bottom of the screen, so you will have the benefit of the measurements in the video, and also they're available in the description if you are having trouble listening to all that background racket in some of the previous videos. So again, I apologize. I got some feedback on that, and I think it was more annoying than I thought it was, so I'll be more careful not to record when that's running in the background. Hopefully that didn't scare too many of you away. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm finding the midpoint on the left-hand side of the paper, and I'm going to center this flap over here. So I find the midpoint on the pocket page, find the midpoint on the flap, and I just match those 2 dots up, and that's how we can center this. You can do it visually if you like. This is a method that I've kind of gotten used to, and I like it. I think it's pretty easy. The middle in the middle. Okay, so I've got a dot here and a dot here. I'm just going to line those up and press this into place. And then we've got our left and right flaps. Now, I'm going to extend this flap by placing a pocket on top of it. And I'm going to tell you the size of this pocket. It's not a pocket yet, but it will be. It is 8.5 by 7. So it's, did I get that right? 8.5 by 7. And it's going to get installed like so. So right now it's just a piece of paper. You're going to score at 3.5. So again, 8.5 by 7, score at 3.5 on the 8.5 inch side. You're going to fold it over. We're going to tack down the top and the bottom to create a pocket. And I'm not going to use a gusset. I'm going to just use a very fine bead of glue to close this and make a pocket. And you want to apply your glue to the side that's shorter so you don't overextend your glue. Hopefully that makes sense. Actually, what am I going to do? Am I really going to do that? I have to think. I'm actually going to wind up putting some designer paper here, so maybe I'll wait and tack this down after I apply that paper. So that is basically the design for this page until we start doing the designer paper. This is going to get applied to the flap, but not until I decorate it. So that's what I'm going to set this aside and get my my papers trimmed out, and when I get back, we'll start adding these layers. Okay, be back shortly. Hey everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and we're working on Ephemera Queen, and we're on page 1. So we're going to start decorating now. So one of the things that we still have to finish is this pocket, and I was going to wait to seal it until we got our designer paper in. So I'm going to set that aside. We're going to work on the base parts of the page. Sorry about that. It looks like I might need to do a little bit of trimming here. So let me get my pencil ready. This looks, yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's ready, and I've got to get some ink here. And we're not going to lay this down just yet because we're going to do this side first, and then we're going to locate our magnets over here. This is one of my dry pads, so I'm going to set that aside. All right, so that's ready. So now let's take a look at this. Looks like I've got it trimmed. We need to ink it. Okay, let's go ahead and get this in. Yikes! I hate it when that happens, guys. That's such a bummer. Fortunately, art glitter glue dries clear, but I still don't like it. It will make the texture look a little bit different on the edge. Gosh darn it. You know what that is? That's too much coffee. I thought I'd calm down because I took my dog for a walk and that usually gets the jitters out, but I guess not. Anyway, that's that. We've recovered. And I can't see it, so I'm okay with that. All right, so that's in. I'm gonna go ahead and get that middle piece out. So the next thing is we're gonna work on this pocket. Sorry, I need to do a little housekeeping. I didn't realize I had so much in frame. Get this out of the way so you don't have to look at it. Okay, so we're gonna make this pocket. And we're going to just put a bead of glue here and close it to create the pocket. But first we're going to line the top half of the pocket. And I have more paper than I need, so I'm probably going to take a sliver off here. Yeah, I could probably trim this in half. There we go. Okay, so that's going to go here. Let's get some ink on it. Ooh, I just realized I did two of the same pattern. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. Okay. Okay, now that we have this in, we can go ahead and seal our pocket closed. So always apply the glue on the shorter end so that you don't come up too high on this side. And I decided not to do a flange here. You could if you wanted to. But I kind of wanted my pocket to be tight. And if you just glue the two sides down, then your pocket tends to be a bit more snug. Okay, that is done. Now we can set that aside. So now we're going to apply this right here. And actually, I'm going to flip it over. So I'm looking for an even border around this, which is about a 1/2 inch all the way around. I'm going to mark it here because when I install it, I want to make sure that this is covered. So I know I need a piece that is about 2.5 inches wide. So we know this is going to be the center. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do red, yellow and red on the inside. So, all right, I need a minute. Okay, I've chosen this piece of paper. So let's turn everything back right way. And then, okay. So on the opposite side, you're going to apply this so that when you open the flap, it's covered. And this is from the 8x8 collection pack. But you could use anything, any piece of scrap. It just happened to be a piece of scrap that I had. But you can use anything. Just I would lean more toward any of the red patterns. And then we're going to introduce some, I think, blue or yellow on the other panels so that it's kind of consistent with the outside. Okay. And that's that. So now we're ready to go ahead and apply this. So now the next thing I'm going to do is flip it back over, and then I'm going to use my pencil to mark where I'm going to stop the glue line. So I need to stop glue right about there. So this is going to be covered with glue, and we're going to stop at these 2 pencil marks and apply it. Okay. Okay. Now we're just looking for an even border all the way around. It's a little bit low. I didn't bring my Tim Holtz ruler in here, but that looks pretty straight. So we're going to call it in. Okay. Okay. All right. Now that that's in, now we can place our magnet. Oh, gosh darn it. I needed to put the magnet under here. Man, I'm having a hard time today. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to see if I can, yeah, I can lift this enough to sneak a magnet in here. Dumb. Okay, so obviously put your magnet in before you glue this down. Dumb. Okay, so I lifted it enough that I'm going to be able to push a magnet in there pretty easily, actually. Hopefully you can see that. It's gone in. There. So it turned out that luckily I hadn't glued it so close to the edge that it would tear the edge pulling it up. Hopefully you just learned from my mistake. I am just out of it. So if you don't have a spatula, I highly recommend getting one, but moreover, I recommend that you don't glue down your cover before you're ready, like I just did. Okay, now we're going to find where it's going to land on this side. I need a little bit of tape. Okay, there we go. That's in. Now we can go ahead and add this panel. I'm going to go ahead and put this back under there just so you can see the edges, like so. And so this is the spatula I'm using. It is a silhouette spatula, and we don't have these in the shop. We do have the pick tool, but we don't have the spatula. And I think I got mine as part of a bundle when I bought my silhouette machine, but you can buy them individually. And I don't see my pick tool all of a sudden. There it is. Here it is. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and close this. Now we're going to decorate the top of the pocket. Okay. This looks pretty plain, but that's because I'm going to put an ephemera card on top of it, and that's really going to dress it up. And you guys might recognize this pocket style. I used it in Ocean Blue. After a while, it's pretty hard to come up with new stuff. There's just so much you can do before you start repeating your patterns, but the paper makes all the difference in how it turns out, I think. Okay, that's it. Okay, and now we're going to place this matted ephemera card. So this is just one of the large ephemera cards, and it's going to go centered here. And of course, we're going to stop so that we don't glue the pocket closed. So we flip it over, and when you flip it over, don't flip it this way. You want to flip it lengthwise. Put your mark so you know where to stop your glue line. And then I'm going to put a quick mark in the corner so I know that it's going to go like this. Okay. Okay, now I'm looking just to put this in the corner and try to keep it as straight as possible. Going to be centered left, right, up, and down. And you'll want to test to make sure you didn't glue your pocket closed, and we did not. And then lastly, I'm going to remove my pencil mark, the little bit of pencil mark that I have left. Okay, there we go. It's looking good. All right, and then this is just a sample. It may be the insert that I wind up leaving in here, but we'll have a nice insert that goes into the pocket. Like so. And so you just get that extra little frame around the ephemera card. So I think that turns out nice. And then the inside, I've trimmed out this from the 8x8 collection pack. And this is the flip side. So, I mean, you could choose to do this. Let's take a look and see how it looks. I think it might be a little too busy on the edges. Yeah, I don't care for that. I think it draws away from what is the centerpiece, the ephemera card. Yeah, I like that better. Clean, clean. And then also it's not hard to put a photo on this. On the other print, it's such a strong pattern. It's very hard to see where you're going to lay your photo. Or photos, plural. Should I fit first? Looked right. It is. Okay. Okay, do a little housekeeping. Okay, now we need to cover the insides, and I'm kind of going back and forth, but I'm thinking about doing some yellows inside. These patterns are too similar, so I don't want to do that. I need a different pattern. And I don't really want to do solid yellow. That's going to be too much yellow. All right, well, I'm going to need a minute to pick out the B-sides for these two panels. Let's go ahead and put that up. I am thinking of yellow here. So let me go through my yellow patterns and find one that doesn't look too similar to this and see if we can't make something happen. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, everyone, I've trimmed out the B-sides for page 1, and you know, I decided I'm going to use this as my insert, and I don't think I told you the measurements, so I'm going to go back and tell you. This is 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, so it's 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, but it just happened to be a random size based on the scrap that I had. And then once I tucked it into this spot, I realized I like the way the blue frames the ephemera card. So I think that's a good size. I'm going to stick with that size for page 8 when I do the insert for page 8 too. So 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and open it up, and then I'm going to show you what I have planned for the B side. So we did this early on when we were locating the magnet. So it's really just these two pieces. So this is going to go very quickly, and that will be the end of page 1. So I want to thank everybody for sharing time with us here at Scrap and Create. We're always glad to have you here. And we really appreciate the new subscribers. Thanks for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing and you will be notified when we have new content available. And we try to do at least 2 projects a month. There's some months where that just can't happen. This month we're a little bit off. My son started school and Julie snuck off for a quick vacation. So I had to shift gears and work on some things I don't normally do. So I'm a little bit behind schedule, but most of the time we get 2 projects a month out. They are almost always mini albums. I have done a few other things, but generally speaking, they're mini albums. We have over 50. I think this makes 54 projects that are completed with detailed tutorials online available right now. So if you go to our playlist, you can browse through all the projects that we've completed. And the projects are named by the paper collection that's featured. So if you're a Graphic 45 person, you are going to find your projects there under the Graphic 45 names. And if it's something that's been released in the last 2 years, we have a project on it. We basically do a project on every single Graphic 45 collection that comes out, including DCEs. So when something is re-released by Graphic 45, we'll do a project on that as well. So please take some time to go over there and browse through our finished projects. We'd love to have you on board. And if you can, we would really appreciate it if you went over to our shop at www.scrapandcreate.com and take a look at our shop. And most everything you see in a tutorial is available, not completed, but the papers are available in our store. And we appreciate it if you give us a shot at your business. Thanks again. This is Daphne. Next time I come back, we'll be working on page 2.